Peace and blessings coming to you live from North motherfucking Las Vegas. I hope all is well with y'all. I recorded the last video and the mic was like this, so I was talking to y'all with this fucking thing in front of my face and it looked ridiculous, when you go through those thoughts of like, am I a fucking moron? Why didn't I check that, before I put the video up or started recording? But I said fuck it and I put it up anyway because I felt like what I was saying was genuine, I guess. So, for people who are discovering the podcast and that was your first video seeing me or you subscribed based off of that video, I appreciate you because you hopefully listened to what I was saying and didn't mind too much that I didn't have the professional mindset of making sure that everything was set up properly and looking good before I put it up or started recording. So I appreciate you for fucking with it anyway. And thank you for being here. About a week ago, we had close to, due to some extreme inconsistency and all that, barely 20 subscriptions on here. And now we're inching toward, I would say 100, but we have a little over 60, which I think is incredible to do about 40 subscribers. And people, I don't even like to call them subscribers, just people fucking with the channel and digging what I'm saying. And not just what I'm saying, because, just being on the same wavelength as I am. We all have a certain kind of energy or place in our lives that we're in, and I like to think that whoever has been subscribing is right there, or we're not right there, but where I'm at. So peace to you. Thank you for hitting that subscribe button. And as we continue to do this humbly, but with persistence and discipline, I just want to say thank you for being a part of what is to come and what's already here. I'm just very, very grateful. Yeah. I was talking to my brother Jeff on the phone yesterday. We were having a great 3-hour conversation about what the future is going to look like and how life works. He's doing incredible things out there in the country of Chile, and back home he has real things going on too. With his, just with his family, and not to be too revealing on his behalf out of respect for his personal and private life. It's just interesting how life can have its yin and yang, or whatever you want to call it, where you have something great happening and then you have hard and difficult challenges happening all at the same time. And so that's what life is about. We were really touching on that, how life isn't always great and awesome and amazing, and most of the time doesn't feel good. And that's something that, if you're strong enough to not numb yourself to, incredible things come out from the other side of that. And a lot of us listen to motivational videos and, just try to find some source of inspiration wherever we can, whether it's through a book or a movie, a documentary, a podcast, a lecture, a how to be the motherfucking man video. And in reality, none of those things are real sources of inspiration without there being any action on your behalf, or if they're inspiring you to do something that's really outside of yourself and not in your heart, so to speak. Because what I've found in my personal life is that when I'm extremely miserable and feeling discouraged, don't know what to do, is this even going to happen? Am I kidding myself? I'm too old to do X, Y, and Z. And how come my life wasn't different in a way that I'd be more prepared for where I am now and for the things that I am trying to achieve and accomplish and all that good shit? Uh, the real inspiration and motivation comes from not numbing yourself to those so-called negative thoughts, but um, we'll just call them negative thoughts. But just the sheer and utter miserable discomfort and discouragement that you deal with when it comes to facing your fears and going on a um, just really going for what it is that you want in life. And even if that's something as simple as not eating as much junk food, or cutting a few pounds of weight, being consistent in working out, not necessarily going to the gym, but being consistent in working out, practicing on the keys, and just wanting to be the best version of yourself. Start a business, start a apparel brand, become a musician, become whatever it is you're trying to pursue as a career in college, or as a person who is studying on your own. The real inspiration comes from being as discouraged as you could possibly be, and then getting to the other side of that and saying, but I'm gonna give it a shot. Fuck it. And I'm gonna do my thing. I'm not. It's not because I've watched this video and now I've been inspired to create AI generated art, and I'm gonna put it on a canvas and open a Shopify thing and have it drop shipped from Bangladesh or whatever. But I'm going to put my little pottery together, make it by hand, and try to sell 100 of them with my name on it. And that's cool as shit. And it makes sense for anybody to feel discouraged, in the sense of like, well, why the fuck would anybody want to buy my art? Who the fuck do I think I am? I'm nobody. I have 60 subscribers on YouTube, and I've never done this before, and blah, blah, blah. But I love this thing. And if I can turn it into my career, or at least, or if I can just do it at all and be consistent with it, and not necessarily, pimp it out, but do it at some kind of professional level where I'm able to do this thing that I enjoyed doing, and God willing, get some money put in my pocket while I'm doing it, and while I'm doing it as genuinely and true to myself as I possibly can. And that's, there's nothing cooler than that. That's wanting to become a millionaire or famous is not exactly an original idea. You see people copycatting other famous figures and influencers, and they're just carbon copies of carbon copies of carbon copies. And you see through them, and eventually you see through them so much that they're long forgotten. They don't even exist anymore, because we don't hold on to things that aren't original. And you think about all the artists, musicians, intellectuals, philosophers, authors, um, architects, engineers. It's the people who were themselves and true to themselves, uh, and really stood on their own 2 feet and not on the 2 feet of who they thought they should be. And so we all become extremely suspicious when somebody is pitching you a disingenuous version of themselves. And um, so yeah, I guess to circle back on that, as they say somewhere, I don't know where, um, you have to get through the other side of wanting to kill, suffocate the spirit of uh, wanting to do it. And if you don't kill it, if you just simply don't give up, you don't quit, and you say, I'm gonna give it my best shot. I'm gonna spend my time doing this thing that I love to do, and I'm gonna enjoy it. I'm gonna give it my best and be happy that I did it, and uh, and not that I did it for the next year, but I did this thing for the rest of my life, and it made my life better. I think another problem is that we're constantly trying to sell our, uh, our labors of love. And I understand not wanting to be broke and getting out of poverty and stuff like that, but sometimes those things just don't go together. Um, Sometimes you're just supposed to love a thing that sometimes you're just supposed to love doing something, and that's perfectly okay. And if you want to put yourself out there to be publicly criticized, or have your thing be for sale, or offer a service that people can say, sure, I can use that, or no, thank you, that's cool too. But you don't have to not do something that you love to do because you don't know how to sell it or don't want to sell it. It's a beautiful thing to have a, just to paint or play piano and just do that and share that gift with other people who are around you, your friends and family. And if you want to go out there and do it, go out there and do it. There's nothing stopping you. So if you can, again, get past wanting to kill your dream because you don't believe in it and you think you're stupid and don't have enough followers, or your teeth aren't straight enough and you're not amazing enough and your upbringing was fucked up and you're just getting started now. If you can get past all that shit and say, man, I don't give a fuck. I'm going to do it. Fuck it. I'm going to make sure I dedicate some time to this. And that's what real inspiration is sitting with yourself and getting through the other side of that bullshit. Because that's all it is. Your feelings are not your friend. And you're not your ideas either. You're what you do. And you kind of are what you don't do. So no matter how you feel, you put in the work and you do it, you start to become that thing. You don't need to be making money doing art specifically to be an artist. If you want to whoop people's ass for free, that kind of makes you a fighter. You don't need to. If you're 8 and 22 in the streets, I respect it. I respect it. I don't need a. I didn't need. I don't. You don't need to tell me whether a referee was there or not, and it was a sanctioned thing with judges and stuff. If you're 8-22, I respect it. You're a fighter, and I don't need to. I don't need proof. I don't need proof from Bumpy Knuckles if he's about it or not. That's fine with me. But just be that if that's what you want to be. Be an artist, and if money is involved, you really gotta be obsessed with the work and not so much how you feel. It's hard to do anything part time in this world and expect there to be full time results. So, give it your best shot. Give it your best shot because when it's all over and you get to whenever the end of your life is, whether that's soon or later, but God forbid that it's soon, say a few years from now, you want to at least approach that inevitable fate that we all are going to arrive at some point and say this has been my life and I'm okay with that. So don't punish yourself. It's too like I say, you don't need to kick your own ass. Life is going to do that for you. Life is going to get in your way of spending time doing the things that you love to do or have to do. There's going to be trials and tribulations and hardships and challenges and moments of self-doubt. And it's going to be extremely difficult. Extremely difficult. And we all experienced that 4 years ago. And I'm not even going to say it. But we all went through that shit. Didn't know what was going to happen. And we were scared and unsure of ourselves and what was going to go on in the world. But that shit happens every motherfucking day. Whether it's actually happening in your life because there's physical things going on in your real life that are stopping you from being able to provide for yourself or take care of the things that are most important to you. Whether it's you're in a bad financial situation, you got to work. I totally understand that you're not talking to somebody who you're not talking to me at all right now, but I'm very familiar with poverty, very familiar with not having as much time as I would like to water those seeds I've been planting, or even plant them at all. But I'm also very familiar with sabotaging myself and being too afraid to be the person that I know that I can be, because what if I'm not? What if what if they don't like me? What if I'm not good enough? What if they laugh at me? What if I'm not the right person for the job? So even then, fuck it. Fail. But as they say, fail forward. Fail forward. Don't just sit there on the fucking in the bleachers watching the game, watching life go by. Have some fun. Create that art. Start that business. Call that family member. Go out on a date. Ask her for her name and her phone number. Tell her she looks beautiful today. Introduce yourself. Have some, be brave. Be brave. Be courageous in the midst of your fear and insecurity. Because you don't want to find out in a couple years God forbid that it's a wrap for you or that it's a wrap for me. And I look back on the time that I spent being afraid and not willing to stick my neck out there and say, "Hey, this is me. I want to be a part of this. I have something to contribute to this, and I want to learn. And can you help me? Can you teach me?" Or just being so discouraged that I just didn't, I just didn't love it. I was trying to, I was trying to get something out of it when it's already here. It's giving me everything that I need. It's here. What am I trying to get out of it? It's giving it to me already. And so, put the paintbrush on the canvas. Put your hands on the keyboard. It's that simple. And have fun, man. Have fun. Be courageous and don't 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 face the inevitable and not be okay with how you spent your life. And not just how you spent it with your time trying to hustle, but if did you even enjoy it? Did you even enjoy it? Or were you just trying to get something out of it when it was already there? There was nothing to get out. There was nothing to get from it. It's always giving to you. So yeah, I guess that's all I have to say about that. Not to sound like fucking Forrest Gump, but I find myself always when I have this song down, when I have an hour or 2, 3, 4 hours of material, then I'll get out there. But there's nothing wrong with what I'm doing, where I'm at. There's nothing wrong with what you're doing or where you're at. If you don't like it, try to change it. If you can't right now, if you keep trying, it'll change eventually. It has no fucking choice. It's the nature of action. Things move. If you move, things move. Situations change. And it's not going to be by chance. It's you. You got to change. And you could still be afraid, but you could also be courageous, and that's where the change really comes in. Is maybe last time you froze up, or you were getting the phone call that you were asking for, but you didn't pick it up because you just had a moment where you were afraid and didn't believe in yourself. But the next time the phone rings, pick it up. Be courageous, but don't think that you're never going to be afraid again, or you're not going to be unsure of yourself again. And if you get to a place where you put in so much work and time into something that you are sure of yourself, which comes with thousands of reps and hours of doing something, no matter what it is, awesome. But new challenges are going to arise, be it professionally or personally, or inside of yourself, relationships, whatever, or you just start to feel like shit for some reason and slip into a funk. You're going to have to face that. A lot of us out here think that, I wouldn't necessarily say think, but just because you don't feel good, and then you do something, you do something to change the chemicals in your brain to make you feel good, it doesn't mean you don't have shit to take care of. Yeah, sure, you're feeling good now because smoking on a joint or something, or you have a beer, or you're watching TV or watching something on your phone, um, that doesn't change your situation. So it's not necessarily about feeling good. It's about putting one foot in front of the other and going for it and being okay with putting in a day's work and tomorrow putting in another day's work and the next day and the next day and the next day, and that being your life and being okay with your situation changing over time and trusting yourself to do the work. So I'm starting to get a little off track or not sure of what direction I'm going, but all I'm saying is it's all right to be miserable and not feel good and to sit with that. And you don't need artificial motivation and inspiration or to, burn a fucking backwood so you don't feel that way anymore. You don't need to feel good while you're trying to change your life. Life is not going to feel good all the time. And that's all right. That doesn't affect whether or not you put in the work. And that doesn't affect if you sit with it, whether you can be inspired or not, or motivated or not. I don't think a lot of people who are great or did great things felt awesome all the time. Sure, once you achieve the thing, it does feel good, but then what? It's the next thing. It's the next thing and the next thing. And so the idea is to learn how to enjoy the process, but at the same time being okay with not feeling so hot and still putting in the work. So, yeah, I'm not going to repeat myself over and over again. I do that with my fiance, and she's like, yeah, no, I get it. Trust me, I heard you. So, uh, that's all I have to say for today. Peace to you and yours. I hope you just keep on trying, man. 'Cause that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna keep on trying, keep on hoping, keep on wishing, praying, giving thanks, trying to be grateful, try to be courageous in the midst of all my fears and insecurities, discouragement, being discouraged and self-doubt, and also trust myself to do the work because, hey man, ain't nothing to it but to do it. You're a bad motherfucker, I'm a bad motherfucker, and that's that. That's that. So be courageous, and I'll talk to y'all soon. Peace.